The events that have taken place in France over the last 24 hours, and we all express our solidarity with the French people and our determination to stand together in the face of terrorist threat and terrorist attack. They merely serve to remind us of the risk that we all face from Islamist extremism.
In the wake of the Paris killings, there is a thinking process floating about at the moment that says this has nothing to do with religion. There are those pundits and those who believe they're commentators who have been heard in the last 24 hours saying this is not about religion, rather social issues. And even those who blame unemployment and governments as a root cause for what happened in Paris. Suffice to say, we are once again locked in a discourse about what is indeed at the epicenter of what happened. We seek some answers. Welcome back to MidPoint. The Regional Operations Director of the Florida chapter of CAIR, the Council on American Islamic Relations, Nazir Hamze, joins us again. Nazir, it's always a pleasure to see you, by the way, and a Happy New Year, my friend.
Happy New Year. Thanks for having me.
What has the last 24 hours been like for you?
It's been extremely shocking and disgusting. You know, when I saw what happened to the journalist in Paris, you know, it's very sad. You know, when you see that, it really hits home.
Okay, when you say it hits home, how?
Well, it hits home because it's a direct attack on free speech, you know, and to kill somebody because they are depicting whatever they think or whatever they want to depict is horrendous, and it hurts. You know, it hurts when I saw it.
The initial reaction, and you've all heard this has happened many times before, is that this is about Islamic extremism. There is a concern in Islamic communities in Paris and here in America that there will be backlash, that there will be people now who will once again look to blame all of Islam and every Muslim for what happened here. How do you stop that?
Well, the leadership of the Muslim community, like I'm doing, we are not just sitting back anymore. And I want to talk about what we're doing, because it's important that your viewers understand that we are taking this very seriously. And we've started, especially here in Florida, we started going across the state and sitting with all of the leaders, all the religious leaders, and explaining everything in context, saying this is what's happening. These people are upset with foreign policy. These people are upset about what's happening abroad. These are avenues for them to productively vent. And we create a holistic approach to the issue. So that's what we're doing on the ground.
But is a holistic approach, and please excuse my ignorance in this, and asking, is this where you need to be at this moment? Right here in front of me, I have an article from the Washington Post by Mark Schneier saying, why don't more moderate Muslims denounce extremism? We've talked about this before, but right now I'm going to get very pointed.
Sure.
Why are not the leaders, the clerics, the people who lead the mosques in different countries and cities, in front of the television cameras, going to the studios, saying right in the face, stop, this is not us. I'm trying not to steal your thunder here, but I need to make a point. The people believe that there are leaders out there in the Muslim community who won't do this because they're scared, they don't want to be killed like somebody else, or they just don't have the spine to do it.
Well, Ed, you know, I'm here.
You are,
I'm here,
but you're the only one.
No, I'm here, and I'm telling you that the Muslim community does not appreciate this and does not accept this. We reject it. So I'm here, and if you want all the other Muslim leaders here, invite them here, and they will come and they will be on the camera and they'll tell you the same thing that I'm telling you, that we reject this, and this has nothing to do with the teachings of Islam, and it has to do with terrorism and criminals. That's all it is.
Why are they not then out there? This is what the American public would ask. Why are they not then out there asking to be heard? Because the American public and other people believe they don't want to be heard.
Ed,
I will, and let me tell you this. But wait, answer the question first, please.
Ed, all of the major Muslim organizations across the United States of America continuously and every single time something happens condemn all these acts of terrorism. They are just not being given the stage. They're, as a matter of fact, they're being silenced by people that don't want Muslims to be viewed in a positive light in the media. They are absolutely, every single time, every Muslim organization,
Who are those?
ICNA, ISNA, MAS, the Council on American Islamic Relations, MPAC, all of the major Muslim organizations, I'm sorry, there's so many of them.
Who are the people stopping you? You said there are people stopping you from doing it.
The people that can, the controls of the media. When they go and we send press releases out, when we say we condemn this, when we talk to the community.
See, but press releases don't do any good. They want to see you in face.
But let me finish. When we go in front of the community and we invite the press to come watch us talk to the community about this and denounce it and educate the community, nobody comes. because it's not controversial. They want to see people get killed. They don't want to see us talk about not killing people and about educating people. That's not newsworthy. So we are absolutely doing it, Ed. We're absolutely on the ground, and we're fighting it, and we're really making an attempt, and we are trying to curb this. But we have to have a holistic approach.
Hang tight. We'll take a break. We got more to talk about because more after the break. A focus on the call. Some are saying greater surveillance of Muslims and their places of worship here in America is what is necessary. We'll talk about that right here on MidPoint. Welcome back to MidPoint. The Regional Operations Director for CAIR Florida, Nazir Hamze, joins us here in the studio. Let's bring this down to what somebody else has said. Bill Donahue, who's the president of the Catholic League, we had him on the show earlier. He's taken a lot of heat from a lot of people. He posted out basically saying that Muslims have every right to be angry from what Charlie Hebdo published, the cartoons. Now, I know we have a couple of versions of the cartoons here, the ones that they put out, we'll bring up in a moment. But this is the reason he says Muslims have every right to be offended. It's against their religion. It's against your faith. And they should be angry. He says the killing is wrong, of course. But he says that you got a right to be angry. I went back at him and I said, what about humor? What about satire? Don't you just let it roll off your back? Does this stuff insult you when you see these sort of cartoons and these things that are at the epicenter of Paris?
Well,
and there's a couple. Do these insult you?
Yeah. Well, as a man of faith and as a Muslim, Ed, seeing any religious figure depicted, the Prophet Muhammad, Jesus, Moses, being insulted is something I don't want to see. However, does that mean that I think it's okay for people to kill somebody? Absolutely not. Free speech works two ways. So the right response to that cartoon or those cartoons should have been the faith community coming out and educating and using that same free speech to counter that and say, you know what, this is what the Prophet Muhammad did when people insulted him. He didn't kill them. He didn't blow them up or do anything. The Prophet Muhammad was very humble. He was very forgiving, and he welcomed them.
But you have clerics such as Anjar Chowdhury in England, who is saying it is our right and every Muslim must kill if you put these out. They're out there saying this, and you have the younger male Muslims are falling for it every single day. How do you counter that?
Well, I mean, you know, I've been on the show before, Ed, and I've tried to
with
talk
Chowdhury. You tried to talk
with Chowdhury, and his views are very extreme and absolutely do not represent the mainstream Islam and the mainstream Muslim community. He's there. And unfortunately, the only thing that can overcome him is more education and more moderation.
And how do you shut him down? Because a lot of people are saying that the biggest problem is getting to unemployed, disenfranchised young men around the world who need to be a part of something, so they decide to become a part of radical Islam. How does CAIR and how do all these other groups you've mentioned get to them? Because I think talking to religious leaders is wonderful, but until you get to the core, you're not going to stop
Well,
this.
as I told you before, and you told me you didn't want to hear about it, but the reality is there has to be a holistic approach to this issue.
It's not that I don't want to hear about it. Please understand. Yeah. It's just I'm saying that it seems as if that's not enough.
No,
please go ahead.
There has to be a holistic approach. We have to have our spiritual leaders combating and countering individuals like Chowdhury's message. We have to have legal representatives helping these individuals. We have to have mental professionals, mental health professionals helping these individuals. We need to have social service professionals helping these individuals. That's the only way, a holistic approach to these individuals when they're identified, to get them back integrated into society and give them an out. Give them a platform to voice what their problems are. I don't like foreign policy. I don't like when you say this about Muslims. We need to grab them and we need to educate them on the correct way. To isolate them and to kick them out of the community is the wrong thing to do. And that's what we're doing. And we have to stop that. Because of why are we doing that? Is because we have individuals attacking Muslims, saying Muslims are this, Muslims are that. They're jumping on defense, and they have no way to express themselves. They have no platform. The Muslim community is kicking them out because they don't like their extremism. And what happens? The gang mentality sets in. I need to catch somebody. I need someone to be with. I need to be part of a group. So that's the problem. The only solution is a holistic approach, and it has to be a partnership, like I said, between the government and the communities, not just the Muslim community, all of the communities in the United States. And for the government to come down and just hand a program is not going to work. Everyone needs to be at the table together, and they need to come up with a holistic approach to this program together that doesn't violate people's civil rights, that doesn't promote bigotry and intolerance, that is a true holistic solution.
We're all out of time. We got a million other things to talk about. Please come back, but I wanted to give you that opportunity to get in there and at least say it. And by the way, any of the Muslim leaders and the clerics who want to come on this show and be part of the solution, this chair is open to them any single time they want to do it, as it is always to you.
Exactly.
Nazir, thank you so much for joining us. We
Thank you
appreciate
very
it. All right, for those of you who may be hacking away at another flu season, good news. At least we think so. That and more coming up next, right here on MidPoint.